Let's do a book haul. So I have a stack of books here that is mostly dark romance and some romantasy, and there is a thriller in there as well. So let's see what I picked up over the past couple of weeks. So the first books we have are the Wolf King and the Night Prince. So this is part of a series, I believe. I'm not sure if it's just 2 books or it'll be a trilogy, but this is a wolf romantasy, which is not something that I've read before, except for Akatara, if you can kind of class that. So what I understand is that we have a princess who wants to escape from her family in a castle. She ends up being kidnapped by a wolf and taken to his realm or his lands. And there is war on both sides, and she understands that she's in danger from both sides. She doesn't really want to escape, and I think there is a blossoming romance between her and this wolf that captured her, who is an alpha. It says, when a princess is kidnapped by an alpha, war rages between the humans and the wolves. But soon, forbidden attraction starts to grow, with monsters on both sides, a bloodthirsty war between humans and wolves raging, and undeniable passion growing between them. Will their story end in love or tragedy? And will Aurora ever get home? Does she even want to? So I've heard good things. The Goodreads rating on this is really high. I've seen it floating around a couple of TikTok accounts, but I've not sort of like read any of the reviews because I don't want any spoilers. It just seems right up my alley. So I picked these up from Amazon and I'm excited to get to them. And then we have 2 books that I picked up from TK Maxx. TK Maxx has some absolute bargains for books. The first is Riley Sager, Middle of the Night. I have one other Riley Sager book on my shelf that I haven't got to yet, but I do love like a thriller mystery as a palate cleanser, and I've heard that this is a really good author. So this was only $3.99, which I think is an absolute bargain. It's amazing. RRP was $9.99, which is probably what you'd pay in like Waterstones for it. So I couldn't pass up this bargain. And then the second is Praise by Sarah Kate. This is book 1 in the Salacious Players Club, which I understand is like a sex club. The only thing I know about this is it is age gap romance and ex-boyfriend's dad. So that's very exciting. And this was $5.99. And then we have Now You're Mine by Morgan Bridges. This is book 2 in the Possessing Her duology. This is a stalker dark romance. I do have book 1. I bought them together, but Amazon packed it really badly. The cover and half of the pages are all bent over, so I've got to send that back and get a replacement. This one's quite short. It's less than 300 pages, so that'll be interesting. Obviously, I'll read book 1 first, but I just wanted to add a few more dark romances to my bookshelves. Speaking of dark romance, we have Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. This was on offer in Waterstones, buy one, get one half price, and then one of the other books you'll see is the other half price book that I got. What I understand about this is that it's a hockey romance. I've never read a hockey romance. I know there are so many flying around BookTube and BookTok, but I've not read any. And it's also a dark romance. So I'm really intrigued to see how those like tropes, those themes play into each other. So this will be a really interesting read for me. I'm not really like a hockey sports in real life fan, so I don't know how I feel about that when it comes to books. If it's sort of like just like a small recurring theme, or if it features quite heavily and have to start to learn terminology. Who knows? But in A Den of Vipers, revenge is the deadliest venom. I mean, that sounds so dark and mysterious. So yeah, I'll add that one to the shelf. And then I feel like we have 2 books that need no introduction. We have Enchantra and Phantasma. So I picked up Phantasma on Amazon. I think there was a couple of pound off it, so I jumped at that. I think it was down to like £5 or £6, which was really good. And then we have Enchantra, which is the other book that I bought in Waterstones for the buy one get one half price offer. What I understand is that this book is dark romance, maybe dark paranormal romance with trials, and this one features the sister of this main character. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard good things. It's one of those books that I've just got FOMO about. I was in Waterstones and I was looking at it, and the lady, another customer, walked past and she was like, "Have you read that?" And I was like, "No, I'm considering it." She was like, "Do it." I was like, "Oh." And then I didn't buy it on that day, but I bought it like a week later, and I was like, she sold me. If a random stranger comes up to me and tells me to read a book, then I must listen to the random stranger. So I'm hoping to get to these quite soon because it's obviously a duology. So I have both of them. I can read them back to back if I want, and there's no like waiting in between. So yeah, those would be good. And then last but not least, we have Shallow River by H.T. Carlton. This is one that I have seen on Goodreads. I've seen like positive reviews. I've seen it mentioned like maybe once or twice on TikTok, but obviously her other books, the Haunting and Hunting Adeline duology, are like really popular. I've not heard so much spoken about some of the other ones. There's another one by her that's the one with the sharks. I thought it was this one, but it's not. I'm just going to see if I can remember the name. Does It Hurt? That was it. Was that it? Is that the one with the sharks? Something about sharks and things. I don't know. But this says, Shallow Hill is where souls suffer slow and miserable deaths. And the trigger warnings are intriguing, so I can't say no to some dodgy trigger warnings. So I picked this up in the Prime Day sales. I think, again, there was like a couple of pound off. So I just had a voucher. So I was like, why not take advantage? Let me know what I should add to my TBR first. What books have you read? What are the highly rated books from you that I've got in this stack? Is there anything that I should avoid? Let me know in the comments.